But the Secret Service, they have been having a heck of a few months. There's a whole issue of the Secret Service apparently deleting a whole bunch of their text messages from January 6th, the day of the attack on the Capitol, and January 5th, the day before. NBC's Julia Ainsley reported just last week that the Secret Service took the phones of 24 agents involved in the January 6th response and turned them over to the Inspector General for the Department of Homeland Security. But that didn't happen until this summer, which was a year and a half after the January 6th insurrection. It's unclear whether any of the missing text messages from that period will ever be recovered. And getting access to the communications of Secret Service agents from January 6th would be super important for understanding what went down that day. Because, as we learned from the January 6th committee hearings, Secret Service agents were involved in some of the most pivotal moments of that day. Cassidy Hutchinson, a top aide to Trump's chief of staff, she testified to being told that day of an altercation in President Trump's SUV between Trump and the head of his Secret Service detail, Bobby Engel, because Engel would not drive Trump to the Capitol to join the rioters.
The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. And when Mr. Ornato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
When Cassidy Hutchinson says Mr. Ornato, who's telling her this story, she's referring to Tony Ornato, who's kind of a central figure in all this drama around the Secret Service. Ornato was an agent on Trump's protective detail for his first 2 years as president until he left to go work at Secret Service headquarters. But then Trump brought him back, not as a Secret Service agent, but as a top official in the West Wing, a deputy chief of staff. That was an unprecedented move. No one had ever heard of a Secret Service agent being put into a job like that, especially because of the strictly apolitical nature of the Secret Service. In the aftermath of Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony, anonymous Secret Service officials told reporters that both Tony Ornato and Trump's lead agent, Bobby Engel, would testify that the altercation, the one Cassidy Hutchinson describes, that never happened. But neither of those men ever did give that testimony. A few days after Hutchinson's testimony, the head of the Secret Service just up and quit. A few weeks later, Tony Ornato, he quit the Secret Service as well. And then there is the unsettling question that still hangs over January 6th when it comes to the Secret Service and Vice President Mike Pence. The vice president famously told the head of his detail that day, "I'm not getting in that car," when the Secret Service tried to get him into a vehicle. Some members of the January 6th committee have suggested that that was because Pence had reason to worry that the Secret Service was trying to ferry him away from the Capitol and not just for his safety. Committee member Jamie Raskin called Pence's refusal, that "I'm not getting in that car," he called that 6 of the most chilling words in American history. And now, today, we have this. In the ongoing seditious conspiracy trial of the far-right paramilitary group, the Oath Keepers, for their role in the attack on the Capitol, today, a former member of that group testified that its leader claimed to have a contact in the Secret Service. And he said that months before the January 6th attack, he overheard Oath Keepers leader Stewart Rhodes having a phone conversation with someone Rhodes said was a Secret Service agent. Rhodes was discussing parameters under which the Oath Keepers would operate at a Trump rally. This possible contact between Stewart Rhodes and the Secret Service is particularly noteworthy because another Oath Keeper has testified that on January 6th, Stewart Rhodes tried to reach President Trump through some kind of intermediary. Could that also have been a Secret Service agent? We don't know. For the record, Stewart Rhodes' lawyer says no such conversation took place on January 6th. And the January 6th committee has officially announced its next and possibly last hearing for 1 week from today, next Thursday, the 13th. There will likely be more revelations from that as well. But boy, a lot of the questions we still have about January 6th seem to revolve around the Secret Service. What exactly is going on over there?